Hey guys, Brandon at jazzproducenter.com, and this past weekend we had two shows, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. It was the Battle of the Titans, okay? It was show in little old town of Goldsboro, not that big, on Saturday versus a show in Raleigh, okay? Both promoters are awesome. I don't have problems with either one of them. They're both really good guys. And so I was like, yeah, I'm a competitive guy. I'm always competitive. Everything's gonna be a competition with me. And so this was a competition with me. And Goldsboro won by $1. That's how close they were in sales. Goldsboro won by $1. It's pretty cool. Ain't gonna lie. So let's see. I uploaded some shorts Friday where I went to Tobaccoville and bought a vintage lot. If you don't know where Tobaccoville is, don't feel bad. I didn't know where it was at either till Friday. And it is just before you get to bumfuck Egypt, okay? The guy said they were like near mint, and honestly, they weren't near mint. None of them were near mint. They weren't close. A few were damaged. A lot of heavily and moderately played, but it was vintage. Only one fake card in the lot. But I'm talking about first edition base set, unlimited base set, a little bit of base set 2, first edition fossils, first edition jungle. I mean, it was some good stuff though. So yeah, and then Saturday, so I stayed off Friday night, pricing as much as I could, and I still probably got 500 more from that lot of cars price, if not more. And then we had our show Saturday in Goldsboro, and it was popping. It was busy, nonstop. I mean, the show went from 10 to 4, and I think I was there 30 minutes, and looked down at my phone, and it said 3 o'clock. I mean, time was flying, okay? Excuse me. Now, I will say, there's a little bit of change in the market, though. I haven't done a show in 2 weeks, trying to spend more time with the family and everything. Haven't done a show in 2 weeks, and this weekend at both shows, there's a lot of people selling singles. A lot of people trying to get rid of their collections. I don't know what that says about the market, but a lot of people were selling. And I made that, and it could just be, God opening doors for me. I made that video saying I need to be less picky on the cards I take in. I need to take in more cards. And I saw an old friend of mine who I used to race with, John. He came up to me. He had like 4 binders, I think, and a backpack full of stuff. He was trying to get rid of it all. I went through. It was vintage stuff, but it was most like unlimited non-hollows, commons and uncommons. So like, wasn't a lot of like anything. And honestly, I was like, man, I ain't got time to go through all these cards. We can go through. We can pick, your holographic ones out, and like your popular Pokemon, like your Pikachu, your Snorlax, your Gyarados, anything that's like Misty Psyduck or Misty, Team Rocket, anything that we know is going to be a few dollars. And I would give him a percentage on that. And then I was like, and then the rest, if you want me to take all, man, I'm just going to do like a quarter a piece. I mean, he has thousands of cars. And it's going to take a lot of time and work for me to list them all. Got to check the conditioning and everything. And of course, I can't check everyone to see they're fake. And I'm sure they probably won't, but you never know. Like when I went to Tobaccoville, there was a fake one in that whole lot. Is a first edition Pidgeot Hollow. And he said, what? That's cool. I'm gonna walk around a bit. I was like, all right. And I don't blame him. Like you walk around and try to get better, try to get the best deal you can, right? I mean, I know I'm a small fish. I mean, this was literally my first weekend trying to put my big boy britches on and trying to be a buyer, like a legit buyer. Like, yeah, I'll buy onesies and twos. They're like, nah, I'll buy them all. So then this other guy came up, him and his wife, girlfriend, whoever, and he had a stack, and they were every one of his cars were in top loaders, but he had a stack of them, like I mean a stack, and he handed me those, and they're in a tin, and there's more to the side. But then he also had 3 like boxes, like a Loricana box. I don't know what kind of box you would call it, but it was a little square. Then he had a lunch box, Pokemon lunch box, and an ETB. And then the other one was a Poke tin that usually has like 5 packs in it. All those slam packed with Pokemon cards. And I said, well, and he's like, I'm selling all. I was like, you don't want, and honestly, I didn't want his bulk because, I mean, primarily most of his stuff was just regular EXs. Your 25 cent to 80 cent EX that you're going to put on TCG Player, and it ain't really worth your time. But he wanted to sell all, and he priced his own stuff. So I did spot comp some of his. I mean, he had thousands of cards. I only spot comp some of them, checked the condition on some of them. He said they were all near mint. And I went through and I told him, look, this is what I do. Anything over $5, I'll give you 70% cash, or we can do 80% trade. I was like, then all the anything below $5, I'm just going to give you a quarter piece, but I'll take them all. And that's what we did. And that was been my biggest single purchase. A lot of these cards are going to have to go on TCG Player and on eBay. Because I got to keep my money turning, like I've said before. So that's why I made my percentages at 70 and 80%, because TCG Player is going to take 10.5%, eBay promote 2%, it's going to take 15.5%. So that's leaving me, 15% profit if got at 70 on eBay. So that's where that went. But I bought that. But then my buddy John came back. All right, man. I'll sell it to you. So I guess I had the best deal. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he didn't ask. I don't know. But he can't. And that guy had just left and tapped me out. And honestly, I had more money in the savings, at the personal savings account. But the wife was like, And unfortunately, I couldn't buy his cars. And so I had to pass because I didn't have the money. But I still came out with a good deal. The guy who comped his cards, as I went through after the fact, some of them more than less were comped a little low. So that just helped me out. And but yeah, so that was that. That was Saturday at Goldsboro. I sold almost all my Chaos Rising booster bundles. I was only making not even quite $1 on each one, but it was just flipping the money. I had like 49.31 in each one, and that market's at 50, so I'm selling at 50. Or the lowest list. I'm sealed, as I said before, sealed is listed on lowest listed TCG Player. And you can still get plenty of them at $50. So I put mine at $50. I will sit on them, trying to rotate that money. And I sold a lot of sealed in Goldsboro. I really did. I had bought some slabs from Tobaccoville and everything. Then we go to Raleigh Sunday, and I mean, right off the bat, I sold that first edition base set Gyarados. It was heavy played, but man, I still sold it. And I sold a Farfetch graded card. And then everybody was just wanting to buy, and I was buying. I was selling. I mean, that was a big show. It didn't sell as much sealed there. A lot of the people who were wanting sealed in Raleigh were other vendors, were in Golds where they were the consumer. But a lot of them wanted them at 80%, and I'm just not letting sealed go at 80%. There's no need to let it go at 80% right now, honestly. It's all paid for. I ain't got a credit card payment or a loan payment to make with it, and I don't need to cut 20% of it out. I mean, I probably got, take the Chaos Rising booster bonus. I'm like 99% in, and some of that other stuff, because I don't scalp, I'll buy from scalpers. So some of I do have at 70%, 75% even. But then there's some things I got 80, 85, 90, 99% in. And so yeah, I'm not trying to fire sell myself at 80% to other vendors. If they would let me pick and choose, if I had something at a really good deal, yeah, but nah, they want the good stuff, and it's hard for me to get a good stuff at a good percentage. I mean, it is what it is. I had this other vendor walking around the end of the Raleigh show, stack of cards. He was trying to sell them to him. They really weren't nothing I was interested. Kind of spent a lot of money. I probably spent, and I mean, for the bigger YouTubers out there and the bigger channels and people who are buying collections with credit or cash, I don't know how to do it. You know, I'm going to spend the cash. I spent over $5,000 on collections, probably closer to 6 or 7. You know, and so that was big for me. That I mean, that really was. I was proud of myself, and still got money in the bank, so that works. And but this guy, I don't know, his comps were a little high. Like he was asking $56 for a card that was selling at $42. You know, like his comps were high, and he was wanting 75% of his sticker. To which I said, I'll give you 70% market, but that wasn't good enough for it. I was like, dude, I mean, you know, I didn't want, and like he was like asking every table, it seemed like around me, asking random people, and he had a table. I guess he's. And then he come back, ask again, and I told him no. And then about the third time, you know, I think I could have got it at 70. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna pass. I'm done. We're already packing up. I'm ready to go home. I'm tired. I'm hungry. And so we passed on that. But then when he walked away, I was like, telling the wife, I was like, babe, I bet he has a credit card payment or a loan payment due on the 1st. And he's trying to get some cash. It's not that because he came off his desk. Maybe he won't. I don't know. He was a big guy. Maybe he'll kick my ass next time I see him if he sees this video. I mean, you know, he could be one of my 26 viewers. I have no idea. But so I bought some high-end slabs. I have 9 slabs now. Over $3,000 in slabs. They are going on eBay. They're probably going on eBay today if I can get to it in time. And yeah, that's how the market went. Oh, bonus. What you got? We had our 3rd God pack open at my table in the last 6 months. We had the 3rd one open Sunday. It was really cool. It was this boyfriend and girlfriend. They each had a key necklace to each other's heart, you know, super cute stuff, you know. And the boyfriend bought a Black Bolt Japanese pack and walked around with it. And then they came back and the girlfriend he bought her one. And then they were going to open it together at the table. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I love Pat Skin. We had a kid hit the Gold Greninja Saturday. I forgot to tell you that. The Gold Greninja from Chaos Rising was hit from one of my booster bundles I sold. Yeah, so, I mean, it had great hits at my table this past weekend. But he goes to open it, and the cards, you know, are facing down. And because he's opening it, and then when he goes to lift it up, I see an IR. I was like, wait, stop. And I was like, I need to record this. And he's like, are you serious? I was like, yes, I need to record this. And the girlfriend was like, no, you can't be serious. You can't be serious. And I was like, yes, let me record this. And like, no, you can't be serious. I was like, let me record this. And I grabbed my camera and I record them opening it. The short is up on my page if you want to go look it up. He had a God pack pack on excuse me. And Black Bolt. Super cool. It's my 3rd one. And yeah, really excited, really happy for him. I took his picture, video. Like I said, we're gonna make the Hit of Fame book. Hopefully he'll come back and give me his autograph on his picture. You know, that's gonna be pretty sweet. That, you know, it was all the. And I had somebody, don't you wish you open it? That's what you should open. And I open plenty. I really do. And you know, I'm trying to make this more business, so I don't open as much as I used to, but I still open. I still get my kits in, you know. But I love watching people open packs. I love watching people get hits at my table. And that's what another is doing the photo album, the Hit of Fame, because it validates me as a good vendor. It validates my packs. You know, because there are so many, you know, sorry people, scammy people who are reselling packs, and I'm not one of them. And this is my validation. You know, I want you to hit good at my table because you're going to go tell your friend, hey, I got such and such over there. Or you're going to go to see me at the next show. Hey, this is the guy I got the God pack from last year. You know, like, I want that. So, yes, I want everybody to open their packs at my table, and I want everybody to hit. We had this little boy bought a pack of Phantasmal Flames. Walks away. Apparently, he hit on it. Sold a card to another. Comes back, buys another pack. Hits again at the table. I buy that, trade that card in for him. It was like a $12 card. He won another pack of Phantasmal Flames. Me and his mom was both trying to tell him not to press his luck. You know, that he's hit twice in a row on Phantasmal Flames. That wouldn't do it. But he did. He didn't go back. So I'm assuming the third pack wasn't that good. No, wait, that was some. No, maybe. No, I think that kid walked away with the cash. Maybe he went somewhere else. I think that was it. I think I was mistaken by him opening the third pack. He just walked away with the cash, but they were going somewhere else to buy something. I don't know. Maybe he hit over there. That'd be cool. So Corey and Zach were semi close to me both shows. They're two really cool guys, and they brought grocery bags. I was not the only person at the show with grocery bags this weekend. I think I was one of two though, and every time they would make a sale off of a grocery bag or just give somebody a grocery bag, Zach would be like, Brandon, grocery bags. You know, it's just cool, man. I mean, they're cool people. They're hitting the dumplings, the little squishy things that smell like cancer, and some of them smell sin. But I know my wife opened up one that smell like cancer. I don't know. And they're doing those. They got that little niche on a lot at shows. They're the only one there at shows with them, and they're making a killing on, and they're selling out every show. It's awesome. Happy for them. I do think that's going to be a more of a gimmicky, nichey thing. It's going to die down like the Lulu Mondals or whatever them things were, or like fidget spinners. I used to sell fidget spinners back in the day. You know, I love the fidget spin. And then they just dropped off there. So I think these would do the same, but I could be wrong. Either way, they got it on lock at shows. They're making a killing. Super proud of them. I think that was really smart for them to get in because, as I've said before, and other people, you know, you want to go where other people aren't. That's why I do the Japanese booster boxes. You know, because I ain't got as much competition. They're doing the Neo dumpling things or whatever. They ain't got no competition at shows. They're the only ones there. They've told me their market's really good on it. So, I mean, they're killing it at that. So, guys, congratulations. That is an awesome power play that y'all are doing right there. And I would ride it as long as you can. My only advice is wouldn't buy too much at one time in case it is something that dies off. But as long as you're not, you know, going in debt over it and it's going at speedy cash buying it up, dude, ride that train as long as you can, man. And I also talked to them about doing like a podcast style video. Then that'd be cool. So y'all let me know if y'all want to see something like that. And that's really all for this weekend. I do have a story that I want to tell later from the Behind the Binder series. Has some interesting stuff happen. So we'll see. But the market, a lot of people were selling singles. No scalpers came in with merch. I was that one guy, and then he said he wasn't a scalper, but he brought me 8 Chaos Rising booster bundles, and he had a bunch of other new stuff. And I was like, dude, I don't care if you're a scalper. I was like, I ain't got time to scalp. I buy from scalpers. You know, I mean, seriously, that's where I get some of my best shit from, scalpers at shows. But there wasn't a lot of them this weekend. Not a lot of people selling sealed. A lot of people selling singles. That was unusual. Maybe I was just attuned to it because I was buying singles this time more. But either way, I had a great weekend. Was able to make some money, put some money back in the account. Jazz made a big payment to us. I'm getting ready to go load some stuff up on eBay because I ain't got a show for 2 weeks. Try to keep the cash flow going. Then I want to make a Japanese order. Japanese is coming down. I was able to sell the most Japanese this past weekend as I sold probably in the last 2.5 months. So that's good. I'm glad to see it's come down. I'm going to wait a little while longer to see if it won't come down a little bit more. But that's where we're at. We had a great weekend. Thank you for my wife for going with me and helping me. Thank you for my mother-in-law, Sue, for watching the kids for us. And I'm ready to do it again. Also, I got a surprise for the kids on Friday. Might get the wife to videotape it. But my daughter Brandy might edit this video, so I ain't going to tell you what it is. But just know it's really badass.